first, the headlines. Central Bank of Nigeria cautions against currency speculations. Zimbabwean man producing fake driving licenses jailed. U.S. Congress passes bill banning assault rifles. The Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) has urged Nigerians and the economic community not to succumb to the speculative activities of some players in the foreign exchange market. The Director of Corporate Communications at the CBN, Mr. Osita Nwanesobi, who stated this in Abuja, explained that the CBN remained committed to resolving the foreign exchange issues confronting the nation and has been working to manage both the demand and supply side challenges, while admitting that there was huge demand pressure for foreign exchange to meet the needs of manufacturers, as well as those for the payment of tuition, medical fees, and other invisible. Mr. Nwanesobi said the bank was concerned about the international value of the naira, adding that the monetary authority was strategizing to help Nigeria earn more stable and sustainable inflow of foreign exchange in the face of dwindling inflow from the oil sector. He noted that recent initiatives undertaken by the bank, such as the RT200 FX program and the Naira for Dollar rebate scheme, had helped to increase foreign exchange inflow to the country. Mr. Nwanesobi therefore said that the bank would continue to make a deliberate effort in the foreign exchange sector to avert a further downward slide in the value of the naira, which he observed is fueled by speculative tendencies. A South African-based Zimbabwean man, Mr. Zephaniah Zimunia, who was arrested a year ago for producing fake driving licenses and convicted, has finally been sentenced. According to the Road Traffic Management Corporation (RTMC), Mr. Zimunia, who operated from an internet cafe, was sentenced to 1 year imprisonment after serving 11 months. On an investigation conducted by the Directorate for Priority Crimes Investigation (DPCI), a Zimbabwean foreign national, Mr. Zinafad Zimunia, was convicted for producing fraudulent South African driving licenses and foreign driving licenses from an internet cafe he was operating in his backyard in Hercules, Pretoria. Mr. Zimunia was arrested on 26 August last year when members of Directorate of Priority Crime Investigation conducted a joint undercover operation at the identified internet cafe. He appeared in court and was sentenced to a year of imprisonment after being kept. Sorry for that break in transmission. We'll take the Zimbabwean story again. A South African-based Zimbabwean man, Mr. Zephaniah Zimunia, who was arrested a year ago for producing fake driving licenses and convicted, has finally been sentenced. According to the Road Traffic Management Corporation (RTMC), Mr. Zimunia, who operated from an internet cafe, was sentenced to 1 year imprisonment after serving 11 months. On an investigation conducted by the Directorate for Priority Crimes Investigation (DPCI), a Zimbabwean foreign national, Mr. Zephaniah Zimunia, was convicted for producing fraudulent South African driving licenses and foreign driving licenses from an internet cafe he was operating in his backyard in Hercules, Pretoria. Mr. Zimunia was arrested on 26 August last year when members of the Directorate of Priority Crime Investigation conducted a joint undercover operation at the identified internet cafe. He appeared in court and was sentenced to a year of imprisonment after being kept in custody for 11 months. This is the World of Noon, coming to you from Osun State Broadcasting Corporation, Ilea Wiye, Okebale Oshogo, Voice of the West. Now, a news message. Do whatever you want to do this weekend in a moderate way, because excess of everything is bad. The U.S. House of Representatives has passed a bill that will ban assault weapons and the first time in decades, in response to a series of mass shootings that shocked the country. The legislation was approved by 217 to 213 votes in the Democrat majority House. Report says 2 Republicans voted against it, joined by a handful of Democrats. House Speaker Ms. Nancy Pelosi called the bill a crucial step in an ongoing fight against the deadly epidemic of gun violence in our nation. According to the report, the ban will ban the sale, import, manufacture, or transfer of certain semi-automatic weapons. No fewer than 16 people have died due to historic flash flooding caused by torrential rains in eastern Kentucky. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear said that he expected the death toll to continue to rise. The U.S. President, Mr. Joe Biden, declared the flood a major disaster and ordered federal aid to help with local recovery efforts. Among the dead are 6 children, including a 1-year-old baby. Information has it that more than 23,000 people are also without power in the state. The governor said hundreds of homes in Kentucky have been wiped out because of the floods. The U.S. National Weather Service said more rainfall is expected next week, urging people to have a safety plan in place. Ukraine has called for the United Nations and the Red Cross to be allowed to investigate the deaths of more than 50 Ukrainian prisoners of war in an attack in occupied territory. The Red Cross said it is seeking access to the prison in order to help with evacuating and treating the wounded. Unverified Russian video footage of the aftermath shows a tangle of wrecked bunk beds and badly charred bodies. Exactly what happened at the prison camp in Olenika, which is controlled by the Russian-backed separatist Donetsk People's Republic, remains unclear. Ukraine says the site was targeted by Russia in an effort to destroy evidence of torture and killing. Ukrainian President Mr. Volodymyr Zelensky described the incident as a deliberate Russian war crime. Ukraine and Russia have accused each other of attacking the camp. And here again are the highlights of the world at noon. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has urged Nigerians and the economic community not to succumb to the speculative activities of some players in the foreign exchange markets. A South African-based Zimbabwean man, Mr. Zephaniah Zimuya, who was arrested a year ago for producing fake driving licenses and convicted, has finally been sentenced. The U.S. House of Representatives has passed a bill that will ban assault weapons for the first time in decades in response to a series of mass shootings that shocked the country. That was the World at Noon, edited by Lushola Igodefon, delivered by Titi Lokwe and Chiboye. For more about us, visit www.osbcng.org. Thanks for listening. Good afternoon.
Osogbo to Lagos, from Lagos to Abuja, from Abuja to Enugu. Indeed, in every nook and cranny of Nigeria, OSBC Radio to be there for you.
Everybody make gonna listen to the show. We play you reggae music at this place until your soul is up. Selector, we know, playing reggae music, we know, reggae time. The selector, we know, playing reggae music, we know, reggae time.
Well, this is General Summer P, the local sound base. From OSBC 104.5 FM. General Summer P says so.
ìgbésẹ̀ kan tí báńkì àpapọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè yìí ń gbé ti ran ilẹ̀ ìlọ́wọ́ nídìí àṣeyọrí àwọn ètò kan àti wípé púpọ̀ ló jẹ́ kí kí àwọn owó ilẹ̀ òkèrè náà pọ̀ yàmùrá nílẹ̀ yìí. ilé-ẹjọ́ ti gbẹ́dàjọ́ rẹ̀ kalẹ̀ lórí ọkùnrin ọmọ ilẹ̀ Zimbabwe kan tó ń gbé lórílẹ̀‐èdè South Africa ọ̀gbẹ́ni Sympathia Sumbuya táwọn agbófinró kan náwó gan lọ́dún tó kọjá lẹ́yìn tí wọ́n fẹ̀sùn kàn wípé ó ń lo ayédèrú ìwé àṣẹ ìwakọ̀ nílẹ̀ South Africa. gẹ́gẹ́ báwọn òṣìṣẹ́ àjọ ètò ìrìnnà ilẹ̀ South Africa tí wọ́n náwó gan ti wí, ọkùnrin ọ̀hún ọ̀gbẹ́ni Sumbuya tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ níbùdó lílo ìtàkùn ayélujára kan ti gba ìdájọ́ ẹ̀wọ̀n ọdún kan péré lẹ́yìn tó ti wà láhàámọ́ fún nǹkan oṣù 11 sẹ́yìn. nínú ìtàkùrọ̀sọ tí ẹ̀ka ìwádìí ẹ̀sùn ọ̀daràn ṣe fún ọkùnrin ọ̀hún, ọkùnrin ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè Zimbabwe náà ni ó jẹ̀bi ẹ̀sùn ọ̀hún látàrí bó ti lọ ṣe ayédèrú ìwé àṣẹ ìwakọ̀ lórílẹ̀-èdè South Africa látòrí ìtàkùn ayélujára tààrà rẹ̀ ní Harcourt, Pretoria. ọ̀gbẹ́ni Sumbuya ní àwọn agbófinró náwó gan ní ọjọ́ 26 oṣù kẹjọ ọdún tó kọjá lásìkò tí wọ́n dá dúró wípé kó ṣe àfihàn ìwé àṣẹ ìwakọ̀ rẹ̀. lẹ́yìn tó farahàn ní iwájú ilé-ẹjọ́ nílé-ẹjọ́ ọ̀hún gbé ìdájọ́ ẹ̀wọ̀n ọdún kan kalẹ̀ fún un tó sì ti kọlu oṣù 11 lé díẹ̀ láhàámọ́ kí wọ́n tó ṣe ìdájọ́ rẹ̀. ìgbìmọ̀ àwọn aṣojúṣòfin ilẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà ti fọwọ́ sí àbádòfin kan tó ní í ṣe nípa fífòfinde lílo àwọn ìjọ olóró fi tàbùkù kan ní eléyìí tó jẹ́ ìgbà àkọ́kọ́ irú ẹ̀ láti nǹkan ọ̀pọ̀ ọdún sẹ́yìn. ilé aṣòfin ọ̀hún ní ìgbésẹ̀ náà ló wà láti tètè fòfin sí bí ìṣàdédé yìnbọn mọ́ni tàbí sáàrin ọ̀pọ̀ èrò ti pọ̀ lórílẹ̀‐èdè náà lẹ́nu lọ́lọ́ yìí. àmọ́sá ìròyìn fìdí rẹ̀ múlẹ̀ wípé àwọn aṣòfin méjì láti inú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú Republican dìbò tako ìgbésẹ̀ náà táwọn aṣòfin ẹgbẹ́ Democrat ti ṣiṣẹ́ lé lórí. abẹnugan ilé aṣòfin ilẹ̀ náà arábìnrin Nancy Pelosi tó ka àbádòfin ọ̀hún gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìgbésẹ̀ pàtàkì láti fòpin sí ìpani bí ẹni pàjábọ̀gún tó ti ń di tọrọ fọ́nkálẹ̀ nílẹ̀ náà. ilé àwíyé òkè baálé Òṣogbo la ti ń ròyìn láti lè ṣe rédíò Ọ̀ṣun. ẹgbọ́n ìmọ̀ràn ta ní fún yín. mọ̀ dájú sáká wípé pọ̀pọ̀ sísìn á máa pọ̀ láwọn òpin ọ̀sẹ̀ báyìí. ibi yòówù tó bá lọ ṣe ohun gbogbo níwọ̀ntúnwọ̀nsì kó rántí pé ẹni tó bá ráyé lò ló ráyé wá. òjò àrọ̀rọ̀dá kan tó ṣokùnfà omíyalé ti gbẹ̀mí èèyàn 16 lẹ́kùn ìlà oòrùn Kentucky. gómìnà Kentucky Andy Beshear ní ó sì tó ṣeé ṣe káwọn tó forílùgbàdì ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ omíyalé náà tó pọ̀ sí ju àkọọ́lẹ̀ tó wà lásìkò yìí lọ. ní báyìí ààrẹ ilẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà ọ̀gbẹ́ni Joe Biden ti kéde làlúrí omíyalé ọ̀hún bíi àdánù ńlá tó sì pàṣẹ pé kí àwọn ikọ̀ tó ṣètò ìrànwọ́ lórílẹ̀‐èdè náà àti lábẹ́lé dìde ṣùgbà àwọn tó lùgbàdì ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ọ̀hún. lára àwọn tó ní wọ́n ṣe àkọọ́lẹ̀ ikú wọn ni a ti rí àwọn ògo wẹrẹ 6 léyìí tí ọmọ ọdún kan péré wà lára wọn. ìròyìn fìdí rẹ̀ múlẹ̀ wípé ẹgbẹ̀rún 23 àwọn agbègbè kọ̀ọ̀kan nípínlẹ̀ náà ni iná ọba ti lọ páfe látìgbà tí làlúrí ọ̀hún ti ṣẹ̀. orílẹ̀-èdè Ukraine ti pè fún fífi ààyè gba àjọ ìṣọ̀kan àgbáyé àti ẹgbẹ́ alágbélébù pupa láti ṣiṣẹ́ ìwádìí lórí ikú àwọn 50 ẹlẹ́wọ̀n lásìkò ìkọlù kan sí ẹkùn tó ń ṣe àkóso rẹ̀. ẹgbẹ́ alágbélébù pupa ti fún léde wípé òun ti béèrè fún àǹfààní láti wọ inú ọgbà ẹ̀wọ̀n náà láti tọ́jú àwọn tó sì farapa kí wọ́n sì tún palẹ̀ òkú àwọn tó ti gbẹ́mìí mì mọ́ nínú ọgbà ọ̀hún. títí dásìkò yìí kò tí ì sí àrígbámú ìròyìn tó fìdí rẹ̀ múlẹ̀ wípé nǹkan pàtó báyìí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ ní ọgbà ẹ̀wọ̀n Olenivka tó wà lábẹ́ àkóso ilẹ̀ Russia. àmọ́sá ilẹ̀ Ukraine fún léde pé orílẹ̀-èdè Russia ló ṣèkọlù sí ibùdó náà láti lè ba gbogbo àwọn ẹ̀rí gbàǹjẹ ìfìyàjẹni àti ìṣekúpani lábàdì tó wáyé lágbègbè ọ̀rẹ́. ká tó mú ìròyìn àgbáyé tọ̀sán ní wá sópin ẹ̀bọ kókó wa mẹ́nubà lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí i. báńkì àpapọ̀ lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà ti rọ àwọn èèyàn orílẹ̀‐èdè yìí àti gbogbo àwọn olókoòwò ọrọ̀ ajé láti má kọbi ara sáwọn onírúurú àhesọ ìròyìn tó ń tàkùn káàkiri lórí ṣíṣe pàṣípààrọ̀ owó ilẹ̀ òkèrè lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí. ọmọ orílẹ̀‐èdè Zimbabwe kan tó ń lo ayédèrú ìwé àṣẹ ìwakọ̀ lórílẹ̀‐èdè South Africa ti rẹ́wọ̀n he lẹ́yìn tó ti lo oṣù 11 ní àhámọ́. ilé asòfin ilẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà buwọ́lu òfin tó de lílo ohun ìjà olóró tàbùkù ẹni lẹ́yìn tí lílo ìjà olóró fi tàbùkù àwọn èèyàn ti pọ̀ ní ilẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà lẹ́nu lọ́lọ́ yìí. èyí ló pin ìròyìn àgbáyé. Olúṣọlá ẹgbẹ̀dọ̀fọ̀ lólóòtú, Abíọ́dún Babádíà lóníròyìn yìí. fẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ ìròyìn àti ọ̀rọ̀ tó tó jọmọ́ ti iléeṣẹ́ yìí ẹ tún lè kàn sí ìtàkùn ayélujára www.osbcng.org. mo kí yín ẹ kú gbádùn òpin ọ̀sẹ̀.